Hello, everybody. Here we are today talking about the Los Angeles Kings for our season preview. Before we start, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's talk about the Kings. So, Los Angeles has missed the playoffs 3 straight seasons, and if they want to turn things around, Cal Peterson will probably have to be their starter in net. Understand, Jonathan Quick has a very established career, but the past 3 seasons he's been below average and isn't the solution in net anymore. We saw Cal take more responsibility last year, starting 57% of the Kings games in the past season, and for the 26-year-old, it went pretty well, and I expect him to start in net at least 50 times this upcoming season. Now, he's had a good start to his career so far with a 16.8 goals saved above average since his debut 3 years ago, which is the best goal saved above average by any Kings goalie in that 3-year stretch. So he's been the best goalie for them the past 3 years. The Kings rewarded him for his solid play by giving him a 3-year, $15 million extension, and that was yesterday, as they invested in their best goalie. Ideally, he'd probably start 55, 60 games for LA, and then Quick would be able to give them a solid 20-plus games as the backup in order to make a playoff push. It definitely isn't ideal to be paying Quick nearly $6 million a year to be their backup, but they have to make the best of a bad situation. They won their 2 titles. The man got paid, all that good stuff. And they are paying the 3rd highest amount in the league for their goalie duo, but one thing's for sure. Peterson's extension yesterday means that they view him as the starter going forward. Nothing crazy. I think a lot of people expected that if they make the playoffs, he'll have to do what he's been doing, but add 20-plus more games onto that. So, a playoff push also has to come from other areas as well, and it could come from Quinton Byfield. Now, the 2020 second overall pick has only played 6 games in the NHL, and it's tough to say, hey, how is he going to do? But the hype, yes, there we go. The hype is real for this 19-year-old prospect. In 2 OHL seasons, he had 143 points in 109 games, and if his offensive game transfers over quickly, it would be a huge boost for the Kings because they really just haven't been able to score a lot of goals or be a great offensive team for a while in terms of being able to score. They've had some chances. They were able to generate some chances, but they haven't been able to score. Now, when Byfield was in the AHL with the Ontario Reign, he had 8 goals and 12 assists in 32 games, and even if he doesn't play like a star right away, he could give the Kings a boost on their third line as he develops. And what I will say is this, their center depth is really good. Down the middle, they look pretty solid, and I'm thinking that Byfield will be able to get a full season with the team, be able to grow, and maybe be exactly what the franchise needed. Now, off-season additions could help his growth as well as they make this push. And a player that could really be a key part for this team this year is Phillip Danault. LA made this surprising signing by getting Danault, as they added the center from Montreal on a 6-year deal, I believe, but he'll give the Kings a second-line center while Byfield develops. I don't really know how I feel about the 6-year deal. That part really threw me off there, but, here is a good thing when we look at this deal. This gives Quinton some time to play against lower competition on that third line, get a feel for the game in the NHL underneath him, which will be huge. Now, for Danault, he did have a down year last year, but hopefully for the Kings, he can get back to his old form. As, again, they legitimately want to get back to making the playoffs. They've got good prospects. They have had good teams before. They want to get back in the mix. Listen, LA is a really good market if you're winning, and they know that, so they got to get back to being in the center of attention there. Now, another name that we have to talk about is, of course, Victor Arvidsson. He was traded from Nashville and is another player that had a down year compared to previous seasons. Let's not forget, though, that in a stretch of 3 seasons, he had 94 goals in that time. 94 goals in 3 seasons. He averaged over 30 goals a game. He is projected to play on the first line as of right now, and he's had an above-average shooting percentage during the course of his career. So, I really do think that his goal total will go up this year if he plays on the first line. I expect an upgrade for him this year in terms of goals. Now, for a team that hasn't had a bunch of great shooters over the past few seasons, Arvidsson might really be a guy that they really enjoy. I think his cap hit's like $4.5 million, maybe a little bit less than that, so he could really be a big boost for them. So, with all that being said, will the Kings make the playoffs? And I'm going to be honest here, I'm going to say not quite yet. I do think that they will be the best California team. I don't think Anaheim will finish above them. I don't think San Jose will. But I don't see them making the playoffs. If they could make a push for maybe 5th in the division, that would be great for them. Yes, the Pacific is weak, but I'm just not convinced. Are the Kings there yet? I'm going to have to say no. But I will say this. I see some light at the end of the tunnel. You've got some great prospects. They have made some interesting signings. And I think that there is a good future here. A pretty good future. And we'll have to see how it goes. In the next few years, I think they'll have a great chance to make the playoffs. But my advice to Kings fans right now would be, hey, just enjoy the young guys and see what they're going to be, what's their potential, and all that good stuff. Do you think the Kings will make the playoffs this year? Let me know down below. Also, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Everybody stay safe. Have a great night. Go love hockey, alright? Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.